First impressions, the throttle response on the accelerator, when you are just pulling away at very slow speeds, either from stationary or sort of low speeds, it's a little bit jerky and a little bit sort of on or off, and a couple of times the car's just moved forward quicker than I expected it to. Now, I don't know if that's a gearbox oil service that is needed or whether that's a trait of the DB9. The second one is the ride quality itself. First impressions count a lot, and I had an impression that this would be, by its very nature, a Grand Tourer. It's all about going vast distances in comfort, in luxury, in style. The ride is much, much firmer than I ever expected. The steering, very heavy, and there's no vibration through the steering, but through the seat, through the car, it just feels like it's twitchy, a little bit edgy. Now, I've only been driving it for, well, probably 10 minutes, so it's early stages yet, but it just feels a little bit on edge. It feels a little bit harsh. It feels a little bit too firm. I don't know why. It's not what I expected of a GT car. So we're just going to come out of this village here, out of this 40, national speed limit up to 60. So I'm currently at 40 miles an hour, just at about 1200 revs, and just 3/4 acceleration, kicks down on me at 60. Already just giving it a bit of a feather on that accelerator. You can just feel the power through that 5.9 litre V12. Just starting, and that was just right down low in the revs. This is quite a heavy car. The Volante comes in at, I think, about 1880 kg. So that's 1.9 metric ton. That's quite portly. Let's just see what it's like on this little stretch here. Just starting to build. We've got to be a little bit cautious here. It's been a sunshine and shower sort of day. We've got dry tarmac, we've got damp tarmac, we've got full-on wet tarmac. So we've got a real mixture of road conditions here. So this is it's going to be quite a testing few hours for the DB9. So down this road here, going along about 60 miles an hour, it's quite a fast-flowing B road. This, there's a lot of the steering wheel. It feels like it's tram-lining a bit. You're having to work. You're having to concentrate. This is not a sit back and let the car do it. It feels more sports car than GT. That's my initial impression. Just tickling away, 20 miles an hour here, 1400 revs, and let's just see what it's like. So it kicks down. Oh, that barks. Oh, that brings a smile to your face. Just on the brakes there, just take a bit of that speed off. Oh, that sounds. There's nothing like a V12. I think it's the first V12 van on the channel as well, and it almost goes through 2 or 3 different distinctive notes as you accelerate hard, and you feel the back end squat down. It's putting that power down. Wow, there's that engine just feels really good. And actually, this auto, which is a true auto, this is not one of the more later sophisticated twin clutch systems. This is a true slush box of an auto in regard to a torque converter, but actually it probably suits its nature of these DB9s quite well. Little tricky right and then left-hander here. This left-hander's off camber just to see what it's like. Gets better, I think, faster you go. Actually, the ride just comes back to you a little bit more. It's more on those slow roads that I was noticing the just a tendency for it to, let's say, dart around, be a little bit fidgety, I think. Just feels a little bit better on this stretch of road. So this is my favourite road for testing ride compliance on this subsided road. So as we come out of the village here, just accelerate, get up to the national speed limit, just kicks down. I love that V12, absolutely stonking engine. So we sat now at 60, a few compressions here. Oh, throwing the car around, and that's much better. There, it's on the firmer side, definitely on the firmer side than what I was expecting of a GT car. We're going to go down one of my favourite B roads, really. Now this is a true B road that's going to kick left, right, up, down, and it's real test the car on not a great surface either. And what I'm going to do, just there, it just feels like it just shakes a little bit. But I'm going to go into manual now. So 6 speeds, knock it down a couple of gears. Fourth gear now. Just see how it takes this road. Hard on the brakes. 3rd gear. Oh, I've just noticed that the paddles don't move with the steering wheel. So here now, and 3rd gear, braking for this 2nd gear corner now. 2nd gear, I can't change gear here into 3rd because the paddles stay fixed to the car, not to the steering wheel. How odd is that? It's the first car I've come across that. It feels more sports car than Gran Tourer. Oh, there's quite a bit of water here, so this is definitely testing. Nothing wrong with the shifts though for a relatively old car. I just wish the paddles would move around with the steering wheel. Just caught the car up, so I'll just flick it back into auto, just by tapping the D for drive. It is harsh, it is rough, it is a bit fidgety, but it all adds to the experience. But this is not a Jaguar XK8. This is not a waft along in pure comfort. It's not a Mercedes E-Class Coupe. This is more sports car than GT. Roads here have got lots of standing water in places here. And obviously you're always wary. Say rear-wheel drive, 450 horsepower, that's a lot of power on a rear-wheel drive car, but there's no sign of it losing traction at all. So let's talk values. So back in 2004, 2005, DB9 Volante was 115,000 or thereabouts. And then if you had 1 or 2 options added on, most would have left best part of 120,000. A lot of money in them days. What they are now, well, you can get DB9s from, well, in the 20s. Get a really good one, lower mileage, 30,000. The Volantes, surprisingly, tend to be more expensive than the coupes. And that's unusual, because history said that normally the convertibles in most cars are worth less. But I think there's a very good reason for that. And I think the reason for that is that I think the convertible nature of the Volante suits the nature of the DB9 better. Front engine, rear wheel drive, GT car, you just want to be able to wallow along on a load of torque, be entertained, drive in elegance, in luxury, and and you can hear the bellow of that V12, and you'll only hear it, and you'll hear the best of it with that roof down. So I get why Volantes are more than the comparable coupe. A good one is with low mileage like this, 30,000 miles, DB9 Volante, you're probably looking at about 35,000. So they're certainly holding firm, and you just know an Aston Martin with the DB initials, the David Brown initials, you just know that in years to come they're going to be hugely desirable. And I just think, well, the V8 Vantage, the smaller brother that was only 80,000 in the same era, are at the same price now. So this bigger brother, the V12, you just think maybe this is the right buy. I mean, this puts it absolutely firmly in the 35 to 40,000 pound region when I was looking for the car, and whether that was a BMW M2 Comp, whether it was I looked at a V8 Vantage or the Audi R8 or the Porsche 911 997. So it's in a hugely competitive market, but you're getting a hand-built British sports car with one of the best V12 engines out there. It might not win the bragging rights with regard to brake horsepower, but I just think this might be the buy, because in 5-10 years' time, these could be hugely desirable. So I'm just going to take it up this straight bit of road here on a full acceleration to see what it's like. Here. Just kept in an auto. When those revs build, it sounds really, really nice. It really does. This road is been really newly laid tarmac. It's nice and smooth. It's a fast flowing, well, although it's a B road, it drives really like an A road. Slight undulations, but and it's damp in places, but this is probably more where the DB9 wants to be. Higher speed stuff, you just think, and it does feel much better at speed. That V12, the sound of it, the pull, and whether it's low down in the revs or it's right at the top end, there's just a distinctive V12 bark to that engine, and it's the noise that helps. Absolutely love it. And to tell you the truth, in auto, it works. That torque converter auto really suits the nature of that V12. It kicks down well enough. You've got to remember, this is nearly 20-year-old technology. And you can't beat normally aspirated V12. I mean, come on. Does it ever get any better than that? To be fair, I'm not a great lover of the seats. They are pinching my thighs a bit, probably because I'm a little bit on the bigger side, and it doesn't quite offer enough upper body support, and they just feel a bit too, well, I don't know, I'm just not sat in the seat. I feel like I'm sliding and moving around on the top. But other than that, I sit low, I sit down, I've got these instruments right in front of me, I've got a great feeling steering wheel, just the right size, just the right thickness, and the dash all around me it feels premium, it looks premium. The touches, the dials, they look like rotary, but they're actually fixed positions, and they just feel quality. The leather, it's a really, really nice place to be, and cars of this age, the infotainment systems are always hugely outdated, but of them all, this is probably one of the best ones I've seen. Yes, there's nowhere for your smartphone. Yes, you've got this rectangular hole that I'm not really sure what that's for, other than probably a wallet, loose change, and probably plenty of dust, debris and grime to form in there. I'm not sure why Aston Martin didn't just put a cover over the top of it, but there might be a lacking storage. But if that's all I'm worried about, then I can live with that. Although having drinks holders right back here are, well, almost useless. You're either going to knock them off with your elbow and you've got zero chance of drinking it if you're driving. There's quite a bit of noise as well. Now, of course, it's a Volante. Of course, it's only got a cloth roof, so it's never going to be as quiet as coupe rivals. But whether it be wind noise, because there's certainly wind noise, and more importantly, road noise as well, and that's probably the tyres. Say it's on Bridgestone Potenzas, which are notoriously good, actually. So how do I summarise my day with the DB9? Well, there's a few things that I don't particularly like about the car. One major issue for me, and it's to do with the ride quality, and it's to do with these, I don't know, oscillations, vibrations, scuttle shake, whatever it may be. There just feels like there's something that, and it's not significant, and it's probably something that, as I've driven more today, I've sort of got used to it. But this feels certainly there's something in there all the time, just not through the steering, but through the seat, through the chassis, through the car itself, and I don't know what it is. My gut feeling is it just overly stiff, and as a result of that, you can just feel it all the time. Less of an importance, the throttle sensitivity at really low speeds. I find it a little bit awkward, although I'm getting used to it. The brakes lack any sort of feel. They work well enough, but you just can't really modulate the brakes. The steering's a little bit on the heavy side. The seats are not particularly comfortable for me. I keep moving my right leg because it's starting to ache after not that long in the car. So, but they all pale into significance because many of the best cars ever have faults and niggles and problems. And for me, there's two really big wins for the DB9, things that I absolutely adore. First of all, the looks. If Carlsberg did sports cars, they would have built and designed the DB9. It is, for me, one of the best looking cars ever, whether from the outside or the inside, from any angle, front, back, rear, three quarters, high up, low down. The design detail, they've got the angles, they've got the dimensions. It is a work of art. It is a beautiful thing to see. And inside, it's no different. There's some beautiful touches in here. 20-year-old car, it looks fabulous. The second thing for me, the big win is, and the centrepiece for the DB9, is the 6-litre V12 up front. It is a phenomenal engine that changes its noise and bark throughout the rev range, from the low down torquiness right up to the high revs. Nothing sounds like a V12. It is truly stupendous. It may, in modern day era, only have what some of the super hatches have with regard to 450 horsepower, but I don't care, because it is more than quick enough for the road. It sounds phenomenal, and it really brings the DB9 alive. And for me, it is those two things that makes the DB9 Volante hugely desirable. Is it more desirable than other cars in that £35,000 to £40,000 that you're going to need to get you into a low mileage, nice example like this? That's only up for you to decide. I've loved my time. It's a timeless classic. It is a modern classic, and I actually think it's a surefire appreciating classic in the coming years. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, as always, please thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned. Another video next week. Thanks for watching, guys.